Welcome to Unpopular Tea. I am Txhj. I share my thoughts and opinions, and I'm not here to win friends or be politically correct. I'm here to give my own personal account of things that I experience. And without further hold up, let's get into today's topic, which are things I do not like about the Philippines. Number one, it's not as welcoming as I was led to believe. Doing a ton of research, talking to people who are from here, they make it seem like, foreigners are very welcome here. Everyone just, is all cheers and applause as soon as you touch down, which is definitely not the case. People definitely fight for your attention, but not for the reasons that you might think. Mostly it's, to take you rides to somewhere or to handle your luggage, or, if they want some type of money from you, or if they feel like, you look interesting and, you might have connections somewhere. At least in my own personal opinion, I've only met one individual who's actually struck up a conversation with me just out of genuine kindness. And that was recently, actually, just the other day. Number two, staring for extremely long periods of time and sizing up. I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, when you stare at someone, especially for extended periods of time, that is cause to be defensive and cause that someone might be looking at you as like a meal, like your food or something like that. So definitely not a great thing. And then I walk by individuals, I give them the head nod of acknowledgement when I notice they're staring at me, and they just keep staring. Sometimes they do this eyebrow thing. Mostly it's with the men, but I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe because I'm different. They haven't really seen black people out here like that, but not something I'm entirely comfortable with. Although I'm getting comfortable with it, I don't really let it, affect me too much. But it is something that you will get when you come out here, being black, and maybe just a foreigner in general. But I'm black. The next thing is needing exact change for most things, whether you're going out to 7-Eleven, where you're going out to, get food, whether you're going out to have fun, to go to some tourist attraction. Most of the time, you're going to need exact change, which can be frustrating because no one wants to sit there in a long line and shuffle through their bags and try to find the exact pesos you need just to get something done. And then as a result, it does take a lot of time. So, you're waiting in line longer and you're holding up the line as well. The next thing is phone service. So one of the big things out here is buying loads. That has yet to been properly explained to me. I'm not sure what that's about, but I know it's contingent on what type of SIM card you might have. And the whole process is very clunky. Like for me, I had to get this thing called ClickPay, which is an app. And then I had to get Gcash, which you can't fully use Gcash if you don't have your alien registration card, because you need that in order to verify your Gcash. And without doing that, you can't send money to people, you can't receive money, and you can't verify your Gcash and get the proper loads. So you have to, it's a whole process, man. You have to take out cash from the ATM and then you have to load it on Gcash that way. But there's limitations if you don't have your alien registration card. So you can only put a certain amount of money on your Gcash, and that's how you have to pay for loads. And there's so many different loads, man. Like I never know which one really to get. Some only last 2 days, 3 days, some last 7 days, and they give you a certain amount of data per certain apps and streaming and things of that nature. And some don't even offer like calling or texting, just for Wi-Fi, like surfing. So I got to figure that out. No one has explained it to me yet, but that's definitely a very frustrating thing out here. The next one is that most dishes are pork-based. I don't know about you guys, but I do not eat pork. So sometimes it could be very difficult trying to find things that I want to eat out here. They all look very tasty, don't get me wrong. I used to eat pork and I found out how unclean it is. And, I don't want worms. I'm detoxing. I don't even really eat meat like that. Sometimes I eat chicken every now and again. I eat seafood here and there. Really try to stick to like veggies, fruits, things of that nature. And, it can be difficult, man. Only eating certain things, but sometimes you gotta just suck it up, for the sake of your health. But that is one thing that most dishes out here, they are pork based. So if you don't eat pork, just be advised. I already talked about this to a degree, but there's extra steps involved in some of the processes of things out here. For example, getting loads, you need to download ClickPay, which is a clunky app, doesn't always work. It tells you to update it every 2 seconds, and when you try to, it just doesn't do anything. Then there's Gcash. I understand Gcash just got hacked, and they're taking extra steps and protocols with certain individuals. It can be kind of clunky as well. And also healthcare. So I had something going on, like pain in my lower abdomen, and I had to go to several different clinics because they didn't have certain testing, and I had to get blood work at this one, then go back to this other one to get results, and it was just a whole thing. I don't know what else is like that out here, but so far in my experience, it's been trying to get cell phone service, like loading loads, and healthcare. So just be advised with that. So the next thing I want to talk about is colorism. Definitely a big thing out here. I mean, even on my flight out here, they had commercials on the airplane, and they were advertising skin lightening creams and serums and all this types of stuff. Even just trying to go out and find body wash was kind of a feat, because a lot of the body washes, they have skin lightening elements to them. And for me, I love my skin. I love how dark I am. If I got darker, so be it. That just means I have more melanin in me. I don't care. I love the color of my skin, and I don't care to lighten it. And that's a big thing out here. And even beyond the skin lightening creams, there's a stigma, like I imagine in most areas, that the darker you are, the more evil or the more bad you are. And I've heard it said amongst some of the females out here that they don't want to get darker. They'll walk around with umbrellas, which might be due to, just the sun is harsh on their skin, because some of these people, they have very fair skin complexions. So, that's fair to say. But some of them have actually told me that they don't care to get darker. They don't find being dark, beautiful. I guess there's a beauty standard out here, but you do have darker individuals out here, morenos and morenas, which they have very beautiful skin, in my opinion. And some of them have even explained to me, growing up, they used to be teased based on their color of their skin. And I met up with a couple of young ladies, and we were just chit-chatting, and they told me that, to walk around with a black man is almost like frowned upon. Like, people, they have a stigma about it. Like, they think the woman that's walking around with a black man is either a prostitute, or that she has a very loose and gaping hole where her vagina is. They think that, I guess, all black guys have, large penises, which, there might be some truth to that. Who knows? But it might be true for most men. And that's just the stigma. So definitely something you have to keep in mind as a black man out here. Colorism exists. I know a lot of people like to, boast us up like, oh, black men are winning out here, which might be true in certain niches, which I'll get to in my my topic on the women video, which I won't cover here. But yeah, just be advised. And just to share a quick anecdote, I went to a club out here. I'm in Cebu, called Uptown, and just trying to mingle, learn a little bit about the culture and what the nightlife is like. And man, meeting women in general can be kind of difficult when you go out, especially if you're not like a club type of person, which I'm not. I might go there just to check it out, see what it's like if I'm in a new area. And I was just there, went out with my homeboy who's from California, lives in between California and Spain. He's doing his thing, he's fair complexion or whatever. He'd run a game. And me, I can't say that I exactly struggle with the ladies, right? And trying to do my thing, talking to people, and I go up to a few tables. Everyone's out there squatted up, and I notice there's a commonality. There's a guy who's, I'm guessing, Filipino, and he'll be staring at me, and then he'll like snicker, and then he'll put his hand up as if he's talking and doesn't want to be heard, and then he'll lean over to like one of the ladies at the table, say something, then she'll start laughing and looking directly at me. Then the whole table turns, is looking at me, and then starts laughing in unison. And that happened to me several times out there. Now, I can't imagine everyone is like that, right? That was just my own personal experience, but it did happen. It was very real, and I tend to go back to test it out again. And this time I will be filming just to get, certain clips. But yeah, man. So that happened. That was a thing. Now, as far as, and I'll go over this a little bit further in the women video, as far as the whole colorism thing, you'll come across individuals who like black men, and they'll tell you, oh, I love black men. So it's like I imagine like a fetish, like a niche type of thing. And then when you start talking to them, you find out that, they get with a lot of black guys. They're very sexually active and whatnot. And I don't know how I feel about that as of right now, but that is a thing. You find a small minority of women who like black men, but from what I see, and even in the bios on some of these dating apps as well, women will specifically say, I only want fair skinned European men. They'll make that known. And it's like, oh, okay, your preference is your preference, but it's like, that says something to me. So another thing is, if you're going to have sex out here, Men, just be advised, the condoms out here are super, super small. I've had several incidences where the condoms were so small that, I broke through them. I went through a whole box of condoms in one instance, just going through them, and I was terrified. I didn't know, I don't know what's going on, what their health records are and stuff like that. But be advised about that. You want to buy your own condom, bring your own condoms. If you have those types of concerns. And there's a website out here. Once you get a Philippine phone number, you can go to Shopee and you can actually get magnums online because you can't find them anywhere around here. They only sell Durex. Be advised. So I try as best as I can to live a healthy lifestyle by eating, the right things, eating the proper meals, exercising. And one of the big things I'm into is teas. And I noticed there's no herbal shops out here. The only way for me to go about getting teas like ashwagandha, dandelion root, burdock, valerian, black cohosh, all those different types of herbs is through Shopee. And that could be quite difficult because you can't verify the validity of these herbs, smell them, feel them, whatever. In person, you have to just trust that whoever's shipping these things is shipping you the correct things, correct quantities, and it's, exactly what you need. So just be advised. This next one is definitely something that can be uncomfortable a little bit. Being out here, being a black man, or maybe a black person in general, you always get looks no matter where you go. Like I said, people stare at you. Mostly it's the men. The women, they don't really try to make too much eye contact with you. They look everywhere but at you, most of them. But there's a lot of armed guards no matter where you go, and they definitely stare as well. And for me, that can be uncomfortable. I know they mean well. They've never given me any types of problems, but you gotta understand, as a black man coming from the United States, we don't have a good history with police officers. The reason being is because the police force was created to essentially catch runaway slaves. It was created during slavery in the 1700s in the Carolinas, and they would put down slave revolts and uprisings and things of that nature. So you have this entity that was created specifically to suppress black individuals. So of course, whenever you see an armed person, it's, as a black man, not going to be as comfortable as it might be for someone who's not black, right? But yeah, just something to think about. Be advised, they're everywhere, pretty much outside of different stores and shops. You're standing there on the block. Yeah, it's a lot of them, and they're armed. All right, so the next thing is the level of poverty and homelessness. Having lived in different states in the United States, I've seen, a lot of homelessness from Massachusetts to California to Georgia to South Carolina. So it's not exactly something that's new to me, but it's on a whole nother level. I've seen people pooping in the streets, peeing outside. I've seen naked babies, 1-2-year-olds, just no clothes, naked babies, and it hurts my soul, it hurts my heart. And I have a friend out here who I met actually 10 months prior to me moving out here, who explained to me, because I would give them money, they're all up and down the particular street I was walking on, and she's like, no, you don't want to do that, because a lot of these individuals, they're part of these crime syndicates, and so that's exactly what they want you to do, is collect the money so they can give it to whoever their bosses are. So she's like, if you ever encounter anyone on the streets, you just want to give them food if you have it on you, or offer to get them food. And I was like, okay, good to know. And yeah, man, I understand, there's a lot of homelessness going on out here, but it still hurts to see it, especially when it's kids, or anybody really, but especially when it's kids, man. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on is there's not a lot of free Wi-Fi. So if you're from the United States, I'm not sure what any other countries are like. Typically, wherever you go, if you go to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, what have you, there's free Wi-Fi. You can just tap into the Wi-Fi. If you go to a hotel, sit outside a hotel, free Wi-Fi, just about anywhere you go. Here, it's not like that. All the Wi-Fi networks are locked, and they charge you. You need some type of tokens. I've never taken advantage of it, but you need some type of tokens in order to get Wi-Fi at certain establishments. So that's definitely a drawback, and can be a hindrance, especially trying to figure out the whole load situation if you're not paying for service like a postpaid cell phone plan. So keep that in mind. I try to make this as quick as possible. A lot of these things are things that no one ever mentioned when I would do research on the Philippines or talk to people who are, from the Philippines. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you found value in this. And if there's any content that you want to see, please let me know in the comments below, or let me know how helpful this video actually was for you. Until the next time, I'm Popular T, signing off.